I want to mention something that is an important cheat code for all of this as it relates to your book marketing and with the press part as well. It's what's called the non-traditional calendar. If you're someone that wants to get tips and tricks to effectively get your book published, perhaps you're an aspiring author, you're starting from scratch, you're a bit confused, you want to get a surefire path to getting your book done, be sure to subscribe to the Getting the Win show. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe at Getting the Win. If you're listening on podcast, subscribe on Spotify. I am officially on Spotify, so you can find me on audio. Let's get into the show. And then the third thing, which would likely be the first thing really, but creating some kind of challenge around your launch. You can do a 5-day, you can do a 3-day, you can do 7, you can do 21, you can do 30. Whatever time frame you want, those are the typical numbers. The ones I spit out are the typical examples. But creating a challenge around your book will build buzz for it. It builds excitement. So creating something like that inspires the curiosity and desire for your book, okay? And that's where the joint venture thing is going to be clutch. So that leads me now into the press part of this. Remember, I mentioned marketing, advertising, and press. A lot of this was marketing because I wanted to get that down. I wanted to make sure you understood what marketing actually means, give you examples, and give you an action plan. Now I'm going to get into the press. Advertising is a little simpler. So we'll do advertising after press. When it relates to press now, you'll want to research similar to the way you were researching organizations to network with. You also want to research podcasts that are relevant to your book or relevant to where your target reader hangs out. Podcasts, media outlets, local news media, magazines, national and local, newspapers, online blogs, online magazines, trade publications, if the topic that you're writing about is niche enough. These are all options. So you'll want to research those. And of course, as I always mention in these videos now, use your AI tools for that. That saves you a ton of time. So you'll ask ChatGPT or Perplexity.ai or any other AI tool. I'll always rattle those two off because those are the two that I use. But use any one of those, any of your AI tools. Let it know that you're looking to get on podcasts, get into magazines, newspapers, all of that. Let it know where you want to end up to reach and put your target reader. Then ask it to give you the points of contact to pitch guest posts or guest appearances in terms of the podcasts, right? It'll kick it out. It will kick out all of the relevant media outlets and podcasts and their points of contact to pitch to. It'll tell you all of that in a matter of seconds, saving you days of research. Okay? The next part of this press process is you'll want to generate a press release for the release of your book or for the release of your challenge if you're doing one to promote the book. So if it's a 30-day challenge, you'll want to do a press release for the challenge that then leads to the book. Okay? And that you will definitely need for your local media because pitching online outlets versus pitching local outlets is a bit different. Local media outlets, they'll want the press release. That'll be more helpful for them because it gives them a quick who, what, when, where, why. That who, what, when, where, why gives them a quick preview and it gives them the opportunity to decide, okay, we'll bring this person on. We're interested. Okay. And again, this is something you can ask AI to do for you. Obviously, once you have AI create a press release for you, read it over. Do not email that straight. Read it over and humanize it. Put your voice back into the press release. And better yet, when you ask AI to do your press release for your book, you're telling the AI what your book is about, who your target reader is, when the challenge for your book is going to launch. and the solution that your challenge is going to produce, the deliverable that your challenge is going to produce. All the things. You're giving AI as much detail as possible. But the added detail you can put there is write this as if you're speaking to, put whatever you want, like a smart 12th grader, or write this as if you're speaking to, and put your target reader, whatever the type of target reader is, so that the text can then change the tone. Because if you let AI spit out text by default, it's going to sound very corporate, very polished, very dry, very inhuman. So you have to tell it what tone to write in. So if you tell it to write in the tone of your reader, if you tell it to write it as if it's talking to a smart 12th grader, you can tell it to write in a persuasive yet humorous tone if you want to. But tell it how to put out the text, and it'll do that. And the thing to understand about print magazines or print publications versus the online ones is that you have to have a lead time with the press ones. Normally, there's a 1 month window at the very least. So, as of this recording, it's the month of June. You can't pitch something for the month of June for a magazine. You would have to be aiming for July or August. So, if you have a 30-day challenge coming up, but it's happening in the month of June, then print media is out because they've already released their June issues already, or at the very least, they've already printed their June issues already, even if the June issues haven't been distributed yet. It's already printed, so you've already missed that window. So allow yourself a month, whatever it is you're going to pitch, whether it's a challenge or if you're just talking about the launch of the book itself, the launch date for the book itself. Allow yourself at least a month for whatever media, local print media you're going to pitch to or send your press release to. Speaking from experience, I was a chief editor for an online news outlet, but still, I understand the importance of an editorial schedule and an editorial window. And editors are busy. So, a side note here is even if you pitch them or you send them your press release and you don't hear back, follow up. They're busy. Their mailboxes are full. So, it's all right. Like, follow up. You can follow up twice a week. You can do it 3 times a week. Either way, don't interpret their non-answer as a no. That's not necessarily the case. They likely didn't see it. It likely got buried. So that's it for the press. This brings me now to the advertising part. Advertising is pretty cut and dry. And like I said, marketing and advertising are cousins, not twins. They're separate. Marketing leads to sales. Advertising leads to sales. Okay? So with advertising, this is you putting out money now for placement and promotion regarding your book. You can use Facebook ads, you can use Instagram ads. You can advertise on different bookseller websites. Amazon allows for ads. Publishers Weekly allows for ads. Barnes and Noble allows for ads. So you have different options. So by all means, if you have that kind of budget, set your budget, do the research. Again, use your AI tool, use your second brain. Ask the AI what those costs would be. I want to advertise my book on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble. What are the best places to advertise my book? Because another platform is Goodreads, which is a community for readers and for authors. Goodreads doesn't sell books. Goodreads promotes books, though. So that's another platform. So you can ask your AI tool, okay, what are the best places to advertise my book, which is about this? So you tell it what your book is about, what the genre is. You tell it who your target reader is. And then, hey, if you know it already, tell it what your advertising budget is. And then the AI can spit out what the costs are when you ask it, like, what are the costs to advertise on these platforms? Or what are the best platforms for me to advertise my book on to make the most of my advertising budget? It'll spit those answers out. And then as a follow-up question after it spits that answer out, ask it to give you the points of contact for advertising on those platforms. It'll give it to you. so-and-so at this phone number or so-and-so at this email address. It does that. It gives you that information. So that's the advertising part. Like I said, it's very cut and dry and pretty simple. Now that AI is in the equation, it saves a ton of time now, a ton of time. Now, I want to mention something that is an important cheat code for all of this as it relates to your book marketing and with the press part as well. Okay? It's what's called the non-traditional calendar. You'll want to incorporate your non-traditional calendar from the start of your marketing strategy. So if you've ever heard of days that make no sense, but they help in terms of capitalism. So for instance, National Hamburger Day. As of this recording, National Hamburger Day was last week. That's a thing. National Donut Day is a thing. National Pet Day or National Dog Day is a thing. National Cat Day is a thing. The non-traditional calendar will tell you all of those dates. So you can then schedule different pieces of content for your social media, different approaches or strategies for a marketing campaign based on upcoming dates for non-traditional holidays, if you will. So for instance, with my book, since I'm dealing with women's health or women's wellness, people going through a major transition or a trauma, we can even go by the month thing. There's Mental Health Awareness Month. Obviously, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There are other different months as well. So Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. That's a trauma that a woman could have navigated and healed from. That's a month that I can use to then market something or create a campaign, whether that's a challenge or a movement or some kind of project that's going to drum up buzz for the book for that month. Okay? You can use the non-traditional calendar in that way. If your book has to do with healing through pets, if it's dogs, National Dog Day, you can do a promotion for National Dog Day where you perhaps do a pre-order discount on your book. That's an idea. But use that non-traditional calendar. I can tell you for a fact, members of the media use it all the time because members of the media need to produce content on a daily basis. So they'll come up with a story for National Donut Day, National Hamburger Day, where they'll go out to a local fast food restaurant or a local donut restaurant and do a story because they need the content. So you can do that. You can ride the wave of relevance. And that is, in fact, what you have to do as an author. So between the non-traditional calendar and current events, stay on top of current events. Maybe a celebrity is doing something out in the media. Maybe they're speaking out regarding the very same topic you're writing your book about. You can then position yourself as an expert on the topic because you have your book coming out and have the local media interview you about your book on that same topic, even as they talk about the celebrity that's talking about it. Okay, so these are ideas. Use the non-traditional calendar as well as current events. Ride the wave of relevance. That is what's going to help you get the word out about your book with the press. So thank you so much for sticking with me. If you found this video beneficial, by all means, hit that like button and share it with your peoples. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon on YouTube so you get all of the notifications and never miss a single value-packed episode. And of course, the show is now on Spotify, so follow the Getting the Win show on Spotify. And hey, share that with your folks too. In the meantime, in between time, have a great and productive rest of your Wednesday and a great and productive rest of your week. Peace.